All right, welcome back to A2C. This is A, I'm C, and
Today we're going to talk about the Iron Throne, the finale of Game of Thrones.
yeah, so we're going to break this down a little bit, trying to stay a little in order, but we'll break away from it
I'm sure.
when necessary. So the first thing we want to start with is, Tyrion and Jon walk the city, and then Tyrion goes off on his own.
This scene, I hated this scene. I mean, I can understand that they're really trying to drive in the atmosphere, but we are wasting so much time just watching characters walk around silently, and this time could have been used for I don't know, fleshing out the last two episodes.
I see what you're saying. I kind of did like Tyrion walking through and seeing the destruction, and then, going through the rubble and finding Jaime and Cersei
Well, we could
in
have
the
had
rubble.
a little bit of that, but it did not need to be as
long
as it was.
Yeah, that's what she said. But no, I really liked it. I thought that it was definitely something that added to later on when Tyrion said fuck it.
The Peter Dinklage kills it,
Yeah.
of course, but I would have liked to see a little bit more of Jon and Davos in that scene.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
you
would have
don't
been
really-
nice to see them explore the city.
Yeah, you don't even really get to see too much of their reaction except for maybe Jon a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. No, the problem that I actually had with it was that in the previous episode we see a collapse of the tunnels and all that, and there's just chaos.
Yeah, why
And
is
then
it
in
there's
this,
so much area where they could have been standing?
They could have stepped 10 feet over when they saw, oh, there's bricks falling. Let's go over
move.
here.
Yeah,
they would have been safe. They would have been
stand next
safe
to a
in the Red
wall
Keep.
and not move.
Yeah. So that bothered me, but I really did like Tyrion mourning his family. I thought it was
Needed.
yeah, it was great, and it led into the next scene of Dany giving her warmongering tyrant speech, where we're gonna break the wheel like every fascist dictator has ever said.
I like that she's still idealistic though,
And thinks that she's doing the right thing.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I did like that, but you didn't liberate anyone here. You
literally killed everyone.
Yeah, you liberate them from their life. So
well, I mean, then did she really liberate them? I mean, that's pretty nice of her.
Yeah, yeah. No, I it honestly reminded me of watching speeches on the History Channel. So it was a very good speech. I'll give her that. But very charismatic. But it was you could see she had no intention of actually breaking the wheel. She just wanted to expand it.
Well, she's got the same thing as my constant Superman rant, where I want powers to take over the world.
Yeah.
So I can relate a lot to Daenerys in this.
Yeah, and if you went that far, I would totally, just like Tyrion, throw the pen down the steps.
It's okay, I don't need
and
to.
insult you and be like, you slaughtered a city. And I love that that exchange. I love that exchange though, where she's like, you committed treason, you freed your brother, you slaughtered a city.
And then he throws it to the side. I love that Tyrion's
all his
so
belief in her is gone.
when he could have just snuck away and been like, bye.
Yeah, but he had to do it to make a point.
Yeah.
And if he would have just snuck away,
it wouldn't have made as much of an impact on Dany.
Yeah, or on Jon, or on anyone.
Yeah, but Jon really needed to see all that go down. Which, by the way, when Jon's watching Tyrion get taken away or whatever, and he turns to look at Dany, oh, that sent a shiver right through me, her face.
Yeah.
She's freaky.
Yeah, and then Tyrion convincing Jon what he needs to do,
which I told you last week that was definitely gonna go down.
Yeah, you called it. That was I really liked that, and then he was like, I love her too, not as successfully.
That surprised me because I mean, there was always that kind of that there, but it felt more like he just really admired her.
Well, I don't think it was romantic love.
Oh, I don't know. He kind of sounded like, I don't know. That's the way I took that line. I was like,
maybe
he
had
really?
a crush on her, but he wasn't. There's no way that he was in love, but he loved her.
I don't know.
That's up for interpretation, I guess.
Yeah.
So I really did like the callback to Maester Aemon. Where
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the death of love is the death of duty, and duty is the death of love.
yeah.
I thought that was great, and then John he was defending Dany to Tyrion a little bit until it was finally like, would you have done that? And
Well, no,
he
it
knew the
wasn't
answer.
actually that what that really struck a chord with him. It was, do you think either of your sisters are going to bend the knee? And that's when he's like, my sisters are going to die. And it calls back to when Arya was talking to him and saying, like, your family too, you better remember that.
Yeah.
In that moment, I think is when he's like, remembering.
No one is safe because what Sansa's doing is right, what Arya's doing is right, what everyone is doing is right. But Dany, what she's doing is the ultimate right, and what they're doing is death.
I also really liked that Arya came to him and told him, like, she's going to be coming after you next. Like, come on, be honest here. And do you think Sansa's going to bend the knee? I really appreciated that Arya, like, wasn't trying to be like, I'm going to kill Daenerys. She's just, Daenerys, she's just looking at Jon like, bro.
Yeah, it was really, really well done as far as how they convinced him to eventually go kill her, which, I mean, I kind of thought that, when Drogon rose out of the snow, that he had an idea of what Jon was doing, but then he just settled back down. Either because he recognized he's Targaryen or that...
I don't think that, like, even if Drogon does recognize that Jon's a Targaryen, I don't think it, like, actually means anything to Drogon. I think he just recognizes that, like, Jon is somebody that is important.
Yeah.
Is important to his mother, like, in a good person.
So, and then him and Dany had that little conversation, and for a second...
I actually really liked that conversation.
I really did. And for a second, I thought that that he was convinced. And I was like, man, he's really whipped. When they were holding each other, for another split second, I literally went, wait, who just got shanked? Because for a second, I thought she shanked him.
No way.
And
no, I knew through the whole thing exactly how it was going.
Well, I knew, but I didn't know for sure. I thought, oh, that would be a twist. But no, I thought that was great. And then him, obviously mourning her, and then Drogon coming in, and I thought, well, he's just gonna shoot Jon with fire, and Jon's gonna be okay. And then, but I didn't expect him to burn down the Iron Throne like that. Like I really liked that he was turned. Like,
I kind of wanted to see if Jon would be unburnt, but apparently there was already a scene where he did suffer from a burn. So
before he was reborn.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you're unburnt, you're unburnt. Although I think in the books, Dany actually doesn't necessarily have that power. She does get burned, but the only time that it actually works that way is when she gives birth to the dragons, figuratively.
I am only disappointed with that scene because I feel like, one, I didn't think that him using that little nothing dagger was...
You stab him in the heart, that'll do the job.
But here's the problem, that's what I'm building up to, is it should have been a different dagger, and he should have stabbed her in the heart and pulled it out on fire.
Yeah.
Because...
Give it up, it's never going to happen.
No, it's not.
I doubt it.
The show's over.
I don't think it's going to happen in the books either.
It probably will, because Azor Ahai was too big of a deal.
See,
Lightbringer was too big of a deal.
With George R.R. Martin, the whole thing is that prophecies don't necessarily come true the way that you expect them to. Like, they are typically just there to drive the characters.
Yeah. Well, he is Azor Ahai, and we didn't get proof of that, and I was disappointed.
So anyway, back to Drogon melting the throne. The one thing that I really appreciated about that was I had a feeling that something like that might happen, considering George R.R. Martin's got this giant heart-on for Tolkien. So
that entire episode was very Tolkien-esque.
Yeah, which I kind of saw coming with Jon going north, like Frodo
Yeah.
leaving.
Well, I watched a video where it compared every single scene to things that happened in Lord of the Rings, and it was like 15 different things where you're like, this is the same shot. These guys totally ripped
But
them off.
that's what I'm saying about George R. R.
Yeah.
Martin's got this huge heart on for Tolkien.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's a lot of it that he wanted to subvert, but I know that there's a lot that, like, he's bringing into his own story, and the Iron Throne being this ultimate symbol of power that
Which is the
ultimately
One Ring.
corrupts. Yeah, it's like the One Ring.
Yeah.
So I thought that, like, although it was a little bit of a contrived scene, I like the idea that Drogon knew that Jon was, like, in grief.
And that Jon was right.
Well, not necessarily that Jon was right, but that Jon had to do it. And that he was in grief, and that this throne was, like, it's either, you know, if she can't have it, no one can, or, you know, this is the whole reason why my mom's dead.
There's the other point that you mentioned yesterday when we were talking about it was why didn't the Dothraki follow Jon?
Yeah, because wasn't it that,
It's
like...
whoever kills the Khal is the Khal,
next
or
Khal.
Khal, or whatever
Khal?
it is. Yeah, Khal Drogo, Khal Drogo, Khal Snow.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, I'm really surprised that they're not, like, fighting the Unsullied to free Jon, because they're like, this is our new leader, and the Unsullied are like, no, they killed Dany.
Yeah.
That was missed opportunity.
Very, very much so, a missed opportunity. And then Jon and Tyrion get locked up for
a couple weeks, it seems, because they got a lot of growth.
The whole selection process that they did, like they brought in their little board of trustees.
I love everybody laughing at Sam when he tries to, like...
when Sam proposes, what I've been proposing was everybody gets a vote.
Yeah, but I mean, some people don't know enough about politics to make a
good decision.
Oh gosh, like I don't know. Like I'm conflicted.
I'm
conflicted on
with
that.
the way that their universe is set up. Doing an
doesn't seem
actual
like it would
election would be very difficult because of
Nobody
how long
knows
it would
who
take.
The hell anybody is.
Yeah, they don't know who people are.
There's no
Edmure Tully would get voted in as king just based off of his stats alone. Veteran of 2 wars. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but then you could like say the same for many other characters.
Yeah, but his house didn't try to destroy all the world.
You know, they did the Starks. In fact, the Starks have always been like this symbol of like being honorable and good.
But also there's the whole, okay, everybody does their vote and sends it over to King's Landing. Okay, how many of those get lost?
I'm pretty sure
how long does it take to get there?
Yeah,
it's very easy. They don't have a census. While a democratic republic would be perfect, not for them.
There's no such thing as perfect.
As close to,
especially in government.
Well,
like, let's be honest.
So
not get into that.
Having the lords and all that vote for it, it's like they're the representatives of their little countries essentially, and they vote for the leader. Makes more sense. It's a little bit easier.
See, but it's not even breaking the wheel that much because they're still giving their titles to their children, and at any moment you could have a crazy person, like just a little finger born into one of these families.
What are the chances?
Take out everything.
What are the chances that there'd be 6 crazy people born?
That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is it takes one little finger. Chaos is a ladder.
Yeah, Sansa could have done it.
Well, she didn't want to go be in King's Landing. She wanted to rule the North.
I do wonder though with the selection process, like, okay, who actually gets a vote? Because Brienne of Tarth is Tarth a great house?
Yeah,
but it's not one of the 7 kingdoms, is it?
6 kingdoms.
Well, now it's 6 kingdoms,
I don't believe
but
that Winterfell gets a vote on.
I don't either.
But they might.
They shouldn't.
Why not?
They're not part of the country.
It's
like Mexico voting. It's
no,
like
it's
Mexico
not,
voting for the president.
That doesn't make any sense because No, it isn't.
It
It's
doesn't
really
work.
not. It's
You
not the same.
the kings and queens of Europe don't get a say in what happens over in America. They
Yes, but what you're not understanding here is that, like,
unless they want to rejoin, I don't think they get a vote. Because even
I think that they
Dorne is
could.
part of the Six Kingdoms.
Which I'm kind of confused. Like, why is there a Prince of Dorne if they're not, like, a...
It's a princedom of Dorne is what they're called. They're not a kingdom. They're a princedom.
Oh, okay. But to get away from governments for a moment.
Yeah.
Wow. Robin Aaron. I didn't even recognize him at first. I was like, who's that?
He still looks like the same
and
kid
then
with
when
better
I
hair.
realized who it was, no, he did, like, one hell of a glow up.
He's just got better hair. That's all I see.
I mean, like, no.
Breast milk does the body good, especially the hair.
I don't know. I feel like it was like getting off the breast milk and going through puberty is what, saved him.
Maybe. I mean.
Anyway, so the actor definitely Neville Longbottomed us.
Well,
Yeah.
Robin Aaron had his glow up,
Yeah.
and then Bran
Ends up
gets picked
being
as king because of Tyrion's speech that he gave as a prisoner and was not allowed to speak. Which, fuck Grey Worm. Oh, you're a prisoner. You're not allowed to speak at your trial. What? No. That's wrong. It's stupid. He should have been shot and killed right there.
I'm tired of your Grey Worm
I hate him.
Shut up. Grey Worm's a great character. He was done a little bit of injustice by the writers.
He's a pretty good character, but as a person. Then Tyrion gives this long speech about Bran the Broken, which it's a logical choice. He's unbiased.
Why is it calling him Bran the Broken?
Because he's broken.
Can't he come up with, like, maybe a little bit less of a...
It was on the fly,
name?
I think. Well, no, he thought about it for months. Never mind.
No, he referred to Bran as being broken before, but,
Yeah.
like, that's kind of a demeaning thing to, like, call your...
Bran's fine with it.
Your
king?
Not just king, but, the one that's in the wheelchair, like, what...
The handicap?
Yeah, like, why are we calling handicapped people broken?
Bran's fine with it.
Seems controversial.
I think when he suggested it, and then Sansa's like, yeah, but his dick don't work. I think that was, like, the weirdest thing to say,
well,
but it
she
made
didn't
sense.
Say it like that.
Yeah, but he can't father children or whatever. Which
and does Sansa actually really know that?
I really hope she doesn't actually know that. That'd be gross.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Bran told her, like, I can't have children. Not my penis doesn't get up. Like,
yeah, maybe
we don't have to take it to the Lannister or Targaryen lands,
Maybe. I think him getting chosen though made a lot of sense, as far as like how how the series would go on, and okay, heirs don't get a choice, or like, oh, he can't have kids, doesn't matter, his kids wouldn't be in charge anyway. So I think that's a good, because like Tyrion said, the children of kings and queens are little shitbags.
Not always, but they can be.
Yeah. So I think that was great. I'm glad that everybody voted for him except for Sansa. Which,
yes.
That view she gave where she was like, nah, we're going to be independent.
And I'm sure Yara was sitting over there like, wait, that's an option?
Like... Yeah, and it's too late. She already said aye, and so did Prince of Dorne and all these people. They are all bent to King Bran the Broken. So.
Yeah, but the Greyjoys, they don't really have very much resources up there. That's why they're like pillagers and stuff.
Yeah, and now they're not allowed to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, I do like when Tyrion was saying, oh, if we asked you to be king, would you do it? He's like, why do you think I've come so far? Like, that was the most personality this kid's had in like 5 seasons.
I actually read that, I think the actor was talking about Bran and how when he first came back, he was like really weird and unpersonable and stuff. As time came on, he gets better control of his powers, and that allows more of his personality to come out. And that's why he was a lot more fun in this episode. Like when he's telling him later on, like, I'm sure it will.
Yeah. How do you feel about the small council?
Okay, so, I find it kind of weird that Brienne and Davos are on Bran's small council instead of Sansa's. But I think it's super cool that she's like the captain of the Kingsguard?
Lord Commander of the Kingsguard
Yeah,
or something like that. Like she's
the top
the
of
head.
the Kingsguard.
Yeah.
I forgot what
She's the
title
Jaime
it is.
Lannister of the Kingsguard.
Yeah.
I actually really like their little small council because I think it's like the best people for those positions.
I find it really...
Except Bronn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found Bronn to be a really weird choice, but I found it very enjoyable that I mean, other than, like, maybe Sansa has, like, come out on top the most.
Yeah.
You know?
With them talking about the coin and the small council and all that, I don't know if you picked up on this, but it was, I think, the second watch through that I did of it. Davos is arguing for more money for the ships, and Bronn says something about, oh, there'll be no more coin. He goes, there won't be any more coin. Like, he corrected his grammar. And you're like, man, this guy's come a long way. He's an English teacher now.
Right.
So, it was
I love that
a
too,
small little moment. And then, like, again, like Tyrion rearranging the chairs and stuff like that.
Did I mention that to
Yeah, you did, yeah.
When I was talking about how it kind of, like, was like when he was passive-aggressively dragging the chair around the room.
It was very symbolic of the previous episodes. And then I think everyone there is the right person for that job. You know, the master of ships should be a smuggler that's very familiar with getting around ships. I mean, this guy got a dinghy around Dany's ships and the Iron Fleet.
Yeah.
You know, without anyone noticing. And so he's magical, I guess. I don't think they need a master of whispers because
their king's the master of whispers. Like, honestly, that's actually one of the reasons why maybe Bran's not a good choice for a king, and maybe he should have been the master of whispers. How scary is it to know that at any moment your king could be spying on you?
Don't do anything wrong.
Don't do anything wrong. Yeah, that's a good point.
Big brother.
That's a good point.
You know.
It's interesting. The littlest brother becomes the biggest brother.
Yeah, I do like when they ask, "Have you heard anything about Drogon?" And Sam's like, "Oh, he's in the east," and then Bronn cuts him off. He's far away from here. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And Bran's like, "Well, maybe I'll go find him. I want Bran to like warg into Drogon and then use him to kill people."
Sadly, you're not gonna ever see that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, first of all, why would Bran want to kill people?
I'm joking about the killing people, but he could warg into Drogon and fight in the next Great War.
But they don't need any more
wars. He could go kill Grey Worm.
No!
Drogon went east, Grey Worm went east. So.
Alright, so let me just... Grey Worm, let me talk a little bit about Grey Worm.
Yeah.
Grey Worm, though he did have a bit of a stumble because of, you know, the choices and stuff, I am still firmly in his corner. Firmly in his corner.
And I'm against him.
Look, if somebody took the love of my life and chopped their head off, I would want to kill everyone. Absolutely everyone. Everyone. So yeah, I agree 1,000% with where Grey Worm's coming from.
Wow.
I want everyone dead. And then the fact that at the end of it all...
Thank God you don't have any dragons.
At the end of it all, he comes to a peaceful compromise. You know, he's not super happy about it. What does he do? He's going exactly where he promised Missandei that he would go.
Slaughter more innocents.
No, not slaughter. He's going there to protect them, just like he promised. And that was the best ending for Grey Worm. And I mean, like, it would have been better if Missandei was going with him. But I'm so happy for him that he's going to have a happily ever after. Even despite all his pain. And I mean, think you are so mean for hating him. He is not a terrible person.
I mean, he's done a lot of terrible things. I completely
understand where he's coming from.
Ah.
So whatever you do, don't chop off the love of my life's head.
I don't have any plans of it.
Because everybody's going to die.
How do you feel about, and I already know how you feel about it, but the Queen of the North, the last words said in the series.
Man, everything else could have been shit, and as long as that went exactly the same, I'd be so fucking pleased.
Well, there's so many things I saw about her dress and crown and all that.
Yeah, the Tully skulls, the
Scales. Not
skulls. Not skulls.
Yeah.
Scales. The Tully scales. The Tyrell plant kind of pattern in.
Yeah.
She's got like, her crown is a little bit like Cersei's in a way, but I think
It's
it was
minimalist.
meant to be more like Rob's.
Well, they were saying that it everything pulls from people that have greatly influenced her. It's the same thing because it comes up on Cersei's as a lion, and hers come up as two wolves.
I thought it was, I don't know, I'd have to look at Rob's crown again, but I thought it was meant to be like a call out to that. And then I saw people talking about Cersei's crown. I was like, oh, maybe.
It could be both.
Because, I mean, what else was she like representing Rob?
Yeah.
But she's
and then
got
the weirwood trees, her
loved
family.
that detail so much. It was so beautiful.
I think they put more detail into this dress than they did this season.
Yeah, I know.
And it was like, the other part is her hair. This is the first time she had no braid.
Let it down.
Yeah,
it was
because she's in full control.
Yeah.
And I know Sophie Turner in the past has said
her
hair is kind of
what she's her.
Yeah,
but now she's the influencer.
Yeah, so she is all on her own, and that's awesome. I think they did her very well. I think Sansa ended up being one of the best characters in this show.
That's what I've been saying
like,
the whole time. Everybody was
I used
like,
to hate her.
I hate Sansa. I was like, shut up. Sansa's my girl.
I hated her until Ramsay Bolton got a hold of her, and then I felt bad for her.
Seriously? That's when you started, like, liking her?
I
liked her.
I felt really bad for her.
I liked her.
And then the way that
second,
she was, like, doing shit.
When, I liked her the second she was going to push Joffrey off that bridge.
Yeah.
What was that, like the first...
That was in the first season, I think.
Yeah, the first season, the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely the first season.
That was what made me fall in love with Sansa. Yeah. Not the first episode, the last episode.
Yeah.
I hated Sansa at first. Well, I didn't hate her, but I was just like, God, this little brat's like causing all the problems.
Prissy.
Yeah, but I really appreciate that we've been given such an incredibly strong character that is not like, because like I love Brienne, I love Arya, but they're like the typical strong woman character.
Yeah.
And like.
And Sansa's
beyond that. She's more like, well, not beyond that. She's this type of strong female character that we don't get often.
Yeah. Well, now we do.
Now there's just I've
She's
already
be the
seen
start
like
of
a
it.
book
Yeah.
where it looked like Sansa was on the cover, like some fantasy novel.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of Sansa wannabes come out. None of them are gonna be the true king or queen of the North. So, I think they did her a great justice, and then also Arya going fighting around the world.
Well, I mean, is she fighting or is she, exploring? I think she's exploring.
Can it be both? All I know is it brought to mind that South Park episode of Russell Crowe fighting around the world of Taga the tugboat.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm going to show you this link when we're done here. That's all that came to mind. She's going to go around the world fighting people, beating up people, getting drunk.
But I think like the whole point of her storyline was that, she has all these ways to like protect herself and others. But she's no longer going down this violent path. Yeah,
I could see that. She can defend, but she's gonna go claim some land in the name of the Starks.
I don't know. I think she just wants to go experience whatever the hell else is out there. If she finds like another continent full of people and stuff, she just want to know what's going on there.
Yeah, I could see that.
Not conquer it.
I'm pretty happy with it because it's something that she's mentioned before that she wanted to do, and it works very well with her character.
Although I am heartbroken that Gendry didn't ditch his lordness to go follow her.
It would have been cool if he would have been on the back of the boat or came out behind her and was like, "Hey, babe."
Yeah, why couldn't they be together where she wasn't a lady? She didn't say that she didn't want to be with him. She just said she didn't want to be a lady.
Yeah, that's true.
That wasn't her. She didn't want to settle down.
Yeah.
I mean, she could settle down on the road. I'm just heartbroken, okay? I wanted them together.
And then I guess we have the king of the True North, Jon Snow.
Yeah, and his wife Tormund.
And he finally pet the dog.
Yes! That's all I wanted.
Yeah. I have a feeling, because, I mean, what is the Night's Watch really doing? They're not doing anything.
No, they're not. I'm pretty sure he's
So-
just gonna go hang out with the wildlings.
Well, so Bran, I think, sent him there knowing that this is what's going to happen. There is no Night's
And
Watch.
not to mention, that's the only time that Jon has ever really been happy is when he was
Up north, beyond the wall.
and he
And
was like completely
you know
normal.
that he is their king.
Yeah, he's
You
gonna
know,
be like a new man's raider.
Like, there's nothing he can do about that. He goes, they're his people.
Everywhere he goes, they're
Yeah.
like, "You're a king." He's like, "No, I don't want it."
Yeah, so I don't imagine the Night's Watch doing anything. I don't imagine them rebuilding the wall because there's no threat.
Well, I mean, they could be there just to like let the
The-
two countries below them know.
Yeah, they could just be there.
Be like, "Oh
As an
shit,
in-between,
there's some
but-
like super north like country that we had no idea existed, and they're gonna try to come kill us." So
Yeah.
maybe it's worth having a watch.
Yeah, I mean, they need a place for bastards, but the whole
For bastards can live in the south and in the, like
Well,
in normal.
broken
they-
men and bastards, whatever Tyrion said.
But that's actually not all that the Night's Watch is, and a lot of people forget that the Night's Watch is actually like very honorable for like especially for like Starks.
Yeah,
That's why like Starks volunteer to go to the Night's Watch. They don't do something bad and have to go to the Night's Watch. It's like a great honor to them.
yeah, I know. I'm just repeating what Tyrion said. I don't think that there's going to be a lot for them to do, but they could be there. I mean,
well, it's the first offense.
yeah, from Jon.
From Jon.
But now
In
you
case he
have
wants to come conquer.
Bran Stark is the king of the Seven Kingdoms, or Six Kingdoms. Sansa is the queen of the North, and then Jon is leading the True North, and then Sansa.
I don't like this True North, like.
Well, it's what they call it.
Do they?
The real North, beyond the wall North. Like
He's the king
Tormund
beyond
calls
the
it the
wall.
True North.
It's the king beyond the
But
wall.
Tormund calls it the True North, the real North, or whatever. So, either way, you got Arya sailing her ship around the world. Starks come out on top. Sophie Turner's tattoo was a spoiler all along. The
Not
pack
really.
survives.
Not really. It's just, I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a spoiler if they've been saying it throughout the show.
Yeah, but it's still kind of.
I see where everybody's like, "Oh, it's a spoiler," but
Yeah,
like literally,
I mean,
like,
nobody got it. I mean, people.
Well, no, she didn't know. I'm sure when she got it that's
No, she
how
knew.
it was gonna end.
She got it last June. They already knew how it was ending.
Oh,
Yeah, she was just lying to people, saying, "Oh no, it's not a spoiler. It's just a saying I like." So
I see.
yeah,
I just thought, like, it can't really be a spoiler if it's something that has been said throughout the show and throughout the books.
it's either way. Starks are ruling the world. I have a feeling that in like 10 generations there'll be a Stark over an Essos. Bran will still be alive
You
because
think
he's
he'll still
Three-Eyed
be
Raven.
alive?
I don't know how long they live. They live longer than normal humans, but the other one
I'm trying to think of like.
the other one was like 4 generations old, I think.
Really?
Yeah, but he was also attached to a weirwood, so who cares?
Yeah. So like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Bran could plant a weirwood down there and just become the king tree.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
So, anyways, Starks rule the world. Are you satisfied?
I would have really liked if they had taken a lot of the dilly-dallying in this episode and just cut it out and use all of that extra time to develop the last 2 episodes. That would have made it better. Other than that, I'm incredibly satisfied because, my top 3, Sansa, Arya, Tyrion, all have happy endings. Plus you got Brienne, Sir Davos.
Podrick.
Oh my god, Podrick. I was so excited to see
Yeah.
him. Ghost is reunited with Jon. That's a plus. I'm really excited about that. I was pleased that Jon went up north. Who else? Who else was I? I think that was everybody that I really gave a shit about. At first, I knew there was a really good chance that Bran was going to be king. Because as I told you before, I had seen some of the leaks. So I had a while to come to terms with that. And at first I was like, what the hell, are you serious? Bran's going to be king? But I've come to terms with it, and I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased. I just wish that they had made this like a couple more seasons. Like, it really got way too rushed. But story-wise, I'm pleased.
Okay. Yeah, I mostly agree with you. I think if they would have did a full 10 episodes last season and this season, that
And
we would have...
maybe even another season.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been
They
really
could have
good.
did the whole Night King thing last season. Instead of having the first 3 episodes of this, put those 3 episodes on that, and then have this season be...
And, like, I loved the episode 3, but I wish that the Night King thing had been way longer.
Yeah.
Like, it just got solved too fast.
It did. It did.
But it was a great episode.
It really was. I know there's a lot of problems with the strategies and stuff like that with it, but it was good. The couple things that I am not satisfied with, though, is we have 2 subplots around Jon that are just useless.
Like, you mean like...
We have the Azor
heritage?
Ahai, Prince Who Was Promised.
Okay, but that was never confirmed to be Jon Snow.
It was never... Okay. It's around him, though, and we don't have a confirmation on
Do we
who it
really
is.
know that the Lord of the Light chooses who, like, gets brought back to life and stuff like that? Do we really know that? Or is it just a coincidence that these people kept coming back to life? Because they
Something
were
has to
using-
make them come back to
using
life.
dark fire magic.
Yeah.
You know,
Well-
like, it's not like...
Well, the people doing the fire magic said that it wasn't from them. It was just their prayer that they do
Yes,
it.
but it could
So,
have just been magic.
Random, yeah.
It could've
They
just been
randomly
random
just
magic.
decided, hey, this guy needs to live. Maybe.
It
But
could have been.
I
There's
want-
no proof
I
gods are
want-
real.
I want my Prince Who's Promised storyline wrapped up. I don't care who it is.
Wait for the books.
I just need it wrapped up.
Wait for the books.
And then we have this whole thing about Aegon Targaryen.
I actually like that it didn't matter in the end.
I
It was introduced to so that Jon finally knew who he really was, and you could understand why Ned even had a bastard in the first place. And it introduced an opposing force to Dany getting the throne.
and I understand
but
that.
I like that it didn't matter.
I think that what I would have preferred is that when they freed Jon, like that whole scene would have went down with he is our king, he is freed, and they bring him in front of them, and they say, you are Aegon Targaryen, you are the true heir to the Iron Throne.
Yeah, but that wouldn't
This
be...
is yours. And then he take the crown, throw it on the ground, say, I don't want it. I'm going north.
That'd be actually really cool.
It would have been way more powerful. And then he could have said, just pick your own damn leader. And go.
I would have been down with that.
That's what I wanted. Those are my 2 disappointments, is I didn't get my fucking Lightbringer. And
Yeah, but
Jon didn't have a powerful
they
moment.
would have had
say,
a war
"I'm done with this."
the Unsullied. Jon got ultimately what he wanted, though. He just wanted to go live this peaceful ranger life.
They could have done it differently getting there. I just
Well, I mean,
that's my opinion.
obviously,
Other than that,
there's a
I'm
lot that they
I'm
should have done
satisfied
differently
with
getting
where
there.
all the characters landed.
Yes.
I'm very happy with that. I'm just I don't like that it went straight from him killing Dany to months later. Like, I really wish that they would have found him, or he would have turned himself in so we could see.
I think he should
Because
have
the body
not
got taken
turned himself-
away.
Yeah, he should have just
like,
been like,
no one-
oh my god, you see that? She, like, walked up to the throne, and she was like, I changed my mind, and then
Yeah.
rode off with Drogon.
He could have lied and said Drogon took her. Gone.
Yeah, maybe Drogon
They'd be like, "Where's
went
your
crazy."
dagger, John?" Yeah.
Like, they would pay attention to something like that.
Yeah, but there's so many, like, that little, and there's not so many, but that little
There was
bit.
like blood on the floor, so I guess it was kind of obvious.
Yeah, but he's the true king, and he could have been like, "Oh, Unsullied, you're not happy? Dothraki, you belong to me."
See, I really
Done.
wish that
So-
that had happened. that there was some sort of like standoff between the Dothraki who wanted Jon free
and then just
Unsullied.
a slaughter between the two.
No, like I wouldn't want them to.
Yeah.
I just would have liked to have seen that like conflict, not slaughter them all because, Jesus, like let them live.
Wow.
I want everyone dead, and then.
Yeah, I those were my only disappointments. I'm very glad that it's over. I don't ever want to watch a show like this again.
Why?
Because it's just too much of my life committed to this.
But that's exactly what was amazing.
It was, but
it's like watching the Lord
it's the same with
I just want stuff with depth.
The same with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's done. I'm not dedicating time. I'm not going to people's houses to watch it live.
Lame.
I'm tired. It's over. I'm too old.
See, I didn't go to anybody's house to watch it live this last season. I watched it like in bed.
Oh, see, I've been watching it live with other people.
Yeah, I watch it by myself because Ben doesn't watch Game of Thrones.
Well, now he can.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so I guess that's it. The
end of our
Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah.
I mean, until they come out with the sequels.
Oh
prequels,
yeah, that's right.
If they do.
Yeah, if they do.
Yeah.
I hope they do. I would love to like just swim around this world for a little longer.
Yeah. So from A to C, we'll see you next time.
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's not.
You're really good at closing it out.
Hello, everybody. I'm Russell Crowe, and this is Fighting Around the World.